Hey everybody, welcome to the 108th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream, coming at you from the heart of the Connecticut River Delta to right where you are. Hey everybody, I missed you last week, had a fun gig with Clay. You can watch that gig here on my YouTube channel, but it's good to be back with you right now. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've been playing guitar. A lot to do today in this live stream. First of all, a very important poll question. I would go as far as to say this is the most important poll question I have ever asked you. So please vote in the poll. Poll question is, during these live streams, would you like to do more guitar play-along songs or more lesson material? You can shape the course of this live stream, the next 108 live streams. I'm open-minded, but your opinion means everything. So please do vote. If you've never voted before, now is the time to vote. Now, ideally, we'd have time to do every single thing in the world. But if you had to choose, more play-along songs or more instructional material, technical stuff, it's all good. But I want to know if you had to choose. All right, so I'm here for your questions. When you have a question for a guitar teacher, put it in the chat with a bunch of question marks in advance. That's how I know it's aimed at me. In between your questions, oh, lots of good stuff. We are going to talk about the quietest place in the world. We're going to talk about America's own Stradivarius violin maker from Tennessee. Tennessee or Kentucky? Tennessee, from Tennessee. We have our own Stradivari right here. We're going to talk about bar chords, the real value of bar chords. And spoiler, it's not in how they sound. We're going to talk about that. Meant to talk about that last time, never got around to it. We're going to talk about Paul and Ringo, some big news involving Paul and Ringo. If those names ring a bell, yeah. We're going to talk about bluegrass music and autism. Very interesting story I just heard. What else do we have here? We have a student quote of the week. Ooh, I might have to go and grab my notes about the student quote of the week. Unless I have it, I might have to grab that. What else? Our play-along song. Got a great play-along song of the week. I can't believe all this time I didn't know that this particular song was such a perfect candidate for what we do here in the live stream, which is find a play-along song that is, say it with me, famous, relatively slow, and pretty darn easy. Those are the three boxes we try to check off, and I can't believe this one was just not on my radar along those lines. So I can't wait to do that with you. We'll be getting to that in a little while. A segment I call Who's in Town? A segment I call Should I Sell Out? I got a nice letter in the mail. I want to share that with you. I have a part 2 to the ultimate guide to bass note runs. Remember a couple live streams ago, we did G up to C. And I walked you through a whole bunch of different possibilities for connecting G chords and C chords. Part 2 coming at you during this live stream, connecting A as in alpha to D as in delta. We're going to connect some A's and D's. I'm going to show you a bunch of creative ways to do that. I'll throw a PDF up on the screen. It's going to be awesome. What else? If we have time, I might want to go over the exercise that I called scale games, where you take a scale, but you do it the long way. You play 3 notes, you go back 1 and play the next 3, you go back 1. Remember this? You put it all together, it sounds like. And then you do it backwards. Oh, so much fun. It was on my radar. I was doing it with you guys and with students, and then it got pushed aside somehow. And I thought, oh, let's get back to that, man. It's such a cool technique. One more thing. 1 or 2 live streams ago, I said, hey, here's a cool exercise. I don't have a name for it. And one of you guys gave me a great name. Remember that? someone, and I'm so sorry, I don't remember who it was. Someone said, call that the blues hammer. And I thought, yeah, man, the blues hammer. So somebody take credit for that. I could look back in the chat from a time or two before. We just go on the honor system. Whoever suggested that name, the blues hammer, I like that name a lot. So that's the name I'm going with. So we might review that in honor of the fact that now it has a name. A lot to do today, man, a lot to do. We're going to get to most of it here in what I like to refer to as a weapon of mass instruction. I'm going to say a few hellos. Scott, William, Tasha, Barry, Richard, Joseph, Chaz, Randy, Winston, all the way from Wales. Matt, first in the chat. Matt, that's going to be your name. Going to be like Matt first in the chat. We have a super chat already from Barry. Barry, thank you very much. Super chat is one way you can support the channel. You do it via the bottom of your screen there, the bottom of the chat, that $sign. You click on that and you do whatever is within your means. Another way to support the channel is just buy yourself something, either from my website, which would be great, song-bike.com, or head over to Sweetwater, but go to Sweetwater using the affiliate link that's in the description of this video. You guys know the routine. Some of you have been shopping because I got a little bit of money from Sweetwater to put towards the Sharpie fund and the internet fund and the Wi-Fi fund and the printer paper fund. And that means some of you guys have been shopping at Sweetwater using the affiliate link. And for that, I say thank you. Hey, Rock Lobster is in the chat. Sam is in the chat. Hey, you guys. All right, let's get right down to it. The ultimate guide to bass note runs, this time connecting A with D. And it's going to start off easy. And it's going to get a little bit harder, a little bit, but not too hard for you guys. Okay. If your screen goes dark, don't be shocked. All shall be revealed. Let's get right into playing something. Share screen. I do want to share the screen. Okay, at you. Now, as your screen fills up with a image right there. See that? Okay, the ultimate guide to bass note runs. Now, what you're looking at is what we already did. G and C. There's that A at the top of the page. Gonna have to, I might tweak that. We don't really need that A up there. We're gonna have one chord diagram. We're gonna need all of the chord diagrams, either all of them or none of them. Anyways, I'm gonna scroll down. We already did this one. We did G to C 6 different ways. See all those? Okay, now here's the new stuff. Ooh, A to D. That is today. What you're looking at is a PDF that is available for members of my website in the PDF section. The PDF is called The Ultimate Guide to Bass Note Runs. I think it's number 61 on the big long list of well over 61 PDFs available to members of my website, which is www.song-bike.com. Okay, let's get right down to it. The first A to D bass note run. Very straightforward, very linear. Hey, checking in from Turkey. Serin checking in from Turkey. Wow. I don't know if we've had someone identifying themselves as a viewer from Turkey before. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So fun. That's awesome. So the first one, not surprisingly, pretty straightforward. Boom, chick, boom, chick. There's my A chord. I'm hitting the 5th string first. Why am I hitting the 5th string first? It's the root note of an A chord. Little light strum on the treble strings. 4th note, also with a downstroke, little brush on the treble strings. So that's my boom, chick, boom, chick. Right now, you don't have to be strumming this way just to do a bass note run. It's just really, really convenient as a teacher to teach bass note runs in this boom, chick context, you know? Okay, so quick reminder, why do we even do bass note runs other than to show off a little bit? We're connecting the root note of one chord with the root note of the next chord. I chose A to D for today's lesson because they're such common chords. And conveniently, the root note of an A chord, like I said, is the open A string. And for a D chord, it's the open D string. Okay, so one more time, top of the page. See those two dots at the end of line 1? Those two dots send you back to the beginning of line 1. So we have now done number 1. Okay, second line, number 2. Here's where things get a little more colorful, a little more creative. You'll see what I mean. Here it comes, line number 2. I'm repeating line 2. There we go. A little faster. Still repeating line 2. Okay, so line 2, more melodic. Is it harder? Nah, not for you, you know. One thing this page does not immediately tell you, doesn't tell you at all, which fretting fingers to use. For these first two examples of bass note runs, I'm using my index finger anytime I need a note on the 2nd fret, and my ring finger anytime I need a note on the 4th fret. That's specifically for the bass note runs. A and D, the 2 chords, do them however you would normally do A and D chords, right? Whatever works for you. By the way, notice that the 1st and 3rd measure of everything in front of you is the same. A boom, chick on A and a boom, chick on D. So where we're getting creative is the different types of bass note runs in between the chords, you know? Okay, questions, comments? You doing good on this so far? These are getting progressively harder, but also more fun, more satisfying, you know? So, number 3. Check this out. Kind of fun, right? What's going on? Number 3, hammer-ons, my friends, hammer-ons. This doesn't tell you which fingers to use because tab never tells you which fingers to use, but I highly recommend using your 2nd finger, your big old middle finger for these hammer-ons. That's the first bass note run of example 3 at the bottom of the page. That last 2 on the 5th string, I debated about that. Because why? As some of you are figuring out, the finger that just did the hammer-on would be one great choice for hopping over and getting that 2 on the 5th string. And I guess another option would be, say, your index finger, your 1st finger getting that 2 on the 5th string. There's more than one way to do it. Isn't that satisfying? The last bass note run, the end of example 3. Now, let's talk about hammer-ons for one moment. To get a good sounding hammer-on, you want to be confident. Confident is a better way to, it's a better goal than simply hitting hard. If you're confident, you will hit hard, you know. You don't have to hit too hard. Number 1, you're going to hurt yourself. Number 2, you're going to be spending more energy than you need to. And number 3, it might even slow you down in terms of your progress getting to the next thing. So I'd rather have you think light, quick, and confident. The faster you go, the less important it is exactly how loud the resulting hammer-on is. Does that make sense? If you're going super slowly, well then, yeah, then it's more noticeable if it's not super loud. You don't need them to be super loud, okay? It's a very transient sound. So cool. But the first bass note run of example 3, I still like the sound, the melodic sound of that 2 on the 5th string, but I realize you've got to make a decision. What finger are you going to use for that note? So if you're using your middle finger, your second finger for all the hammer-ons, probably the index finger, your first finger, is the right one to go with on that final note of measure 2 of example 3. Okay, I'm going to stop talking so much. I'm going to play example 3 2 times in a row. Boom, chick, here I go. A little faster. So fun, right? So fun. You don't have to memorize all this stuff. Remember, this is a PDF that is waiting for you at my website. Okay, scrolling. Ooh, some good stuff coming up. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. There you go. Made it a little bit smaller so we could see it all on one page. Okay, on the screen, I mean. By the way, do you guys, in general, you guys don't complain much about the size of the font and everything on the screen. So I assume that you guys can read these numbers okay. I mean, barring any natural reading, nearsightedness, farsightedness, all that kind of stuff. But in general, you guys don't complain much. So I'm assuming that in general, you're okay with the size of the font on the screen. Okay, number 4 is fun. I'm going to skip over the boom chick because I think you guys get that at this point. Number 4 has a really nice bluegrassy kind of flavor. I'm jumping right to the second measure, second box of example 4 at the top of the page. Down, up picking. It has that nice chromatic bluesy sound on the 5th string, that 2, 3, 4. And the ending of example 4. It sounds so great. Right, just a nice little cascading melodic thing. So fun. Here comes example 4. I'm going to scooch over a little bit. Here comes example. Oh, it's the wrong direction. Example 4. A couple times in a row. Boom, chick, here I go. Little faster. For the record, I was definitely doing the bass note runs with my index finger, my first finger playing all the 2nd fret notes, middle finger playing all the 3rd fret notes, and my ring finger playing all the 4th fret notes. And I was definitely doing down, up picking, because there's no way I could play fast and smoothly if I didn't do down, up picking. Here's a quick reminder. It's always worth slowing down and doing something right than whatever the alternative is, playing it faster but messing up. If down, up picking is a pain in the butt for you, yes, it is. It totally is, until the day when it's not. It's worth going slowly. It's worth going slowly. Hey, Sam, sorry about those thunderstorms. Thunderstorms through Southeast Michigan. All right, Sam, we'll catch you next time. You can catch the rebroadcast. Stay safe. Down, up picking. It's worth it. Using correct fingers consistently, it's worth it. 100%. And that means going slowly. Good. Just like lots of other things you learn in your life slowly. Like start driving slowly, right? Speed 100% is the end result of doing stuff correctly, doing it efficiently, doing it consistently, the same body parts doing the same things, whether it's down, up picking or you're fretting, hand fingering. Okay, enough chit chat. Number 5. Ooh, number 5, personal favorite. Oh, don't you love that? Okay, Okay, what's going on with number 5? Again, I'm skipping over the boom chick, boom chick. My middle finger, 5th string, 3rd fret, hammering on to the 5th string, 4th fret. I only plucked it once with a downstroke of my pick. Upstroke, 2nd fret on the 4th string with my index finger. It's a 3-note phrase. I'm going to repeat it twice. And that leaves just enough room for 2 more notes, a little down, up. 4, 2 on the 4th string. In slow motion, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, if that sounds a little syncopated, a little funky, makes you want to tap your foot, yeah, you know why? There's room for 8 eighth notes in the measure. I broke up the 8 eighth notes into 2 groups of 3 and a final group of 2. That's a weird little break, 3 plus 3 plus 2. Our toes like that for tapping. Our brains sometimes take a minute to wrap our heads around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sounds so good, right? And the final measure of example 5, almost the same. Oh, how cool is that? Now, we've come a long way in bass note runs since we started off with that very linear. Right, that was back example 1 of connecting A to D. We've come a long way, you know. What by this point, example 5 here, we're just showing off. We're just having fun. We're way beyond, you know, a utilitarian approach to bass note runs. We're playing this because we can. It sounds so good, right? Do it all day long. We got one more to go, and this one, I'm going to do a quick tune-up here. We got one more, and this last one, we're going to throw in some bluesy minor thirds. Even though our chords are major chords, guess what? We live in a musical culture where you can have major chords as the foundation of the song and minor notes, flatted third notes that show up because they sound good. That's the musical culture we live in. It's legal, it's allowable, and it sounds great. There's the trick. That's the one. Okay. Anybody working on number 6 right now? I'm going to wet my whistle here. Number 6, down, up picking. By the way, I was rewriting number 6 right up until right before this live stream, and now I have to make sure I remember what I wrote. I got to just read the music just like you. That's the bass note run, the second measure of line 6. I did down, up, down, up, down, down, down. And the bass note run at the end of example 6 is also down, up, down, up, down, down. Same down, up, down, up, down, down, down. Same combination. Ooh, I didn't put in the downs and ups on the end of measure 6. Gonna have to do that. Okay. Without so much talking, here's example 6 repeated a few times. There we go. Little bluesy, little dark, these runs, right? But they lead to a major chord because you can, because it sounds good. So specifically, it's the 3 on the 5th string, say in example in measure 2, That's the flatted third note of an A major scale, guaranteed bluesy / minor effect. And the 3 on the 6th string in the last measure is the note G, the flatted 7th note of an A major scale, also a guaranteed bluesy effect. So there you go. Okay, we just did 6 examples of bass note runs specifically that connect A to D. I chose A to D. We already did G to C. That's one reason. Second thing is A and D are such common chords that are seen, that are seen in sequence so often, right? I had the nerve to call this whole thing the ultimate guide to bass note runs. There we go, at the top of the page, ultimate guide to bass note runs. So if I'm going to call it that and present it to you guys that way, then I better, keep it coming with bass note runs that connect some of the most common chords. Okay. The last thing I want to say before I look into the questions that you guys are putting in the chat, many of these, especially some of the ones we just did, many of these are things that sound good to my ear. And 3 days from now, I might have written slightly different variations. I told you number 6 there. There we go, number 6 at the bottom. I was kind of tweaking that right up to the last minute before we went live on the air here. So these are all Jonathan's ideas for some cool sounding stuff. There are many, many, many ways. I mean, would I go as far as to say an infinite number of ways to connect A with D? Not being a mathematician, I'm hesitant to say infinite, but there's an awful lot of ways to musically connect, any 2 common chords. So what you're getting is ones that sounded good to me today, and when I put this together recently. Okay, there you go. I'm going to shut that down. Thank you, everybody. Oh, before I shut down, William, I saw your question. William says, 2-part question. Are bass note runs written specifically for guitar solos? And can you cite a song where bass note runs feature prominently? Yeah. Just the opposite. These are great questions, by the way. Bass note runs, if anything, they're more part of routine rhythm guitar playing. The singer is singing and we're going boom, boom, boom. If it were a bluegrass context, we're going. And it's time to go to the next chord. And you're expected to do something like that. And bluegrass is certainly not the only kind of music where you're expected, or at least no one would be shocked if you put in a little run like that. So I would say, rather than being something that would show up for guitar solos, it's more like routine rhythm guitar playing. A guitar soloist, could they throw in bass note runs? Oh, sure, anything is possible. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Anything is possible. Now, in terms of songs where bass note runs are prominent, all the Johnny Cash songs, right? It may not be Johnny Cash himself playing the bass note runs. If it's on an electric guitar, it's Luther Perkins, right? Possibly one of Johnny Cash's main guitar players, as far as I know. And you guys are welcome to throw some names into the chat. It's some that many of us certainly associate with Johnny Cash song, The train coming round the bend. I'm on an E chord. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Now I'm on the E chord. I knew I was going to go to A because that's the next chord in Folsom Prison. So when the time was right, I threw in that little bass note run. I'm going to slow this down. Bear with me for a second. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. So there you go. There's the mechanically. That's how I make sense to my ear. Is that exactly what you hear in the Johnny Cash version? I sure hope so. But if not, that exact thing is something darn close. Know when on the word stuck. I'm stuck. No, sorry, on the word when. I don't know when I'm stuck in. And by the time you get to stuck, that's when ideally my hand has got the A chord and I just hit the note A, the open A string. Bottom line is, for a lot of us, Johnny Cash is the first one that comes to mind, especially when you hear that kind of boom, 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 that very linear, classic country sound. Jamie, you got a great example too, the Refugee by Tom Petty. Jamie, do you remember what? Is it in A? Is it based on the, no. There it is. Yeah, it's that F sharp power chord, right? Jamie, help me out here. Am I getting close? Talking about Refugee by Tom Petty. Great example. So, Jamie, I'm glad you brought this up because I keep referring to Bluegrass and Johnny Cash. Bass note runs show up in every style of guitar music. Guitar players do them all over the place. And sometimes it's the bass note run is the riff. Like you can't play Refugee by Tom Petty without that, without this right here. Bow, bow, bow. Like you got to do it. That bass note run is baked into the song. That should be a play-along song, right? People know we don't talk too much about it. What a great song. Somehow I ended up with a vinyl copy of Tom Petty's first record, and it has a price tag. I think it was like $4 or $5. It's in rough shape. I mean, the cover's all beat up, but it's Tom Petty's first record. And on it has a paper sleeve, as records did, right? And on the paper sleeve, it talks about each. I mean, it mentions each guy in the band. It's like, oh, they're gonna be famous someday. Oh, I got Tom Petty's Show and Tell coming up in a little bit. So, William, I hope I answered your question, and I'll keep my ears open. The Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, right? Wish You Were Here. There we go. William, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. That bass note run is, like I said, baked into the song. You can't play that song without the bass note run because that's literally how it's written. It's not optional. You could get away with playing a Johnny Cash song, I suppose, and not do a bass note run. But Wish You Were Here, Refugee by Tom Petty. Yeah, those are good examples. Say hello to a few more people. Bruce, thanks for joining us. William, thank you for your super chat donation. I appreciate that. Reiner, welcome. Caddis has a great question. Caddis says, I'm going to take down this, Caddis, hold on. Okay, we don't need that anymore. Okay, Caddis says, could you suggest some relatively easy, recognizable finger-picking songs which don't sound sad? Ooh, tough one. You can have easy and sad. You can have hard and happy, tricky. Okay, so you're going to have to rule out a couple of these if they're too sad. I mean, Dust in the Wind, yeah, I know, it's sad. The lyric is a sad lyric. At least it's not a feel-good lyric. As a teacher, my go-to finger-picking songs include Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. It's a little sad. I mean, the song is a little sad. It's a little wistful. Dust in the Wind. I mean, Caddis, good old Freight Train. Now, Freight Train is a tune that we all should learn. Freight Train is next level, meaning it's not one pattern that just repeats the way some songs largely are. Freight Train it sure sounds nice, but I wouldn't call it beginning guitar, or I'd only refer to it as beginner finger picking to the extent that if you can play Freight Train, you're not a beginner anymore. Sort of a graduation piece. What else? Anybody have any other suggestions? Relatively easy. Uh, I just thought of another example, but it's not going to check all the boxes you want. In that great finger picking book called Fingerstyle Guitar by Ken Perlman is a very nice arrangement of Man of Constant Sorrow. Again, not a happy lyric, but he doesn't. The author of the book, Ken Perlman, classic book called Fingerstyle Guitar. I recommend it highly. He does a really nice job of teaching a nice introduction to fingerpicking using Man of Constant Sorrow, but it's Man of Constant Sorrow. It might sound sad to some ears. What else? I'll keep thinking, Caddis. You're asking a fair question. You really are. Oh no, they keep coming to mind, but they're all sad. Everybody Hurts by REM. The guitar part sounds perfectly nice. D major, D like Delta, going to G like Golf. But the song's called Everybody Hurts. Caddis, you might be onto something. Caddis, I think you're going to need to write the song that has relatively easy, recognizable finger picking. Caddis, you're talking about potentially, you might be talking about Man of Constant Sorrow from the Oh Brother soundtrack, which may be in drop D tuning, like you're referencing. It may be. I used to be more familiar with that exact guitar part. I don't know now. And it's a very cool version that the guys do in Man of Constant, in the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, from the Coen brothers, starring George Clooney and others. The song Man of Constant Sorrow goes a pretty long ways back in folk music history, and you do not need to put it in drop D tuning, put your guitar in drop D tuning to play the sort of the classic version, the old school version of Man of Constant Sorrow. So no, you don't have to worry about that. And I'm specifically referring to the finger picking arrangement of the tune in Ken Perlman's classic finger picking book called Fingerstyle Guitar. So those of you guys out there who've pursued finger picking, I keep coming up with these slightly melancholy tunes. So if any of you have been doing some finger picking and you feel the songs that you've done are not sad and not particularly hard, put those in the chat. Some will come to me probably as soon as this live stream is over. Some will come to me, but it's a great question. Dusty Dave, hey Dusty Dave. Dusty Dave says, how do I make my guitar playing sound like a mandolin? I regularly play with a mandolin player. We're interested in call and response kind of stuff. Oh yeah, great question. Well, you got to get up the neck, right, and play the. So my first suggestion is when, by the way, those of you who might not be 100% familiar, call and response means, the song is going on, boom, chicka, boom, and the mandolin plays a little figure, da-ba-doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo, and then Dusty Dave does a little response, doo-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da-boo. So I'll tell you what my instinct is. My instinct is to simply play the chords you would have played anyways, say an A chord, going to a D chord, since that's like a theme we have today, but to play them up the neck as part of your response. So let's say this is the, I know this is a little bit slow, but bear with me. If the tune you guys are doing happens to have a couple of boom chicks on an A and a couple of boom chicks on the D, and let's say at this moment that's all there is to the tune for our purposes, our hypothetical song, 2 counts and 2 counts. Okay, when it's time to do your response, and you can go back to the cowboy chords, the open position chords. So what I just do there, I played an A chord up the neck, and I played a D chord close by, also up the neck, to get that mandolin kind of sound. Notice once I got in position, though, and I'll show you this exact grip in a second. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any babadoobie. I didn't do anything melodic, but I'm in the, audibly, it sounds a little bit like a mandolin. And I'm certainly in a position where the audience, so to speak, can hear I'm reacting to my fellow musicians, right? I got something. I'm bringing something to the party, So I'll show you what I just did, but then I will give you something to think about for the future, like a plan moving forward. For the A chord, I grabbed a D chord, what looks like a D chord, but I moved it all the way up the neck. So my middle finger's on 9, ring finger on 10, index finger on 9. My left hand still feels like it's doing a D chord. It's just way up the neck, but it feels exactly like a D chord. That's an A chord. If you're at the 9th and 10th frets, 9, 10, 9, that's an A chord. I'm holding the pick surprisingly loosely. I really am. I'm right on the edge of dropping the pick because I want to do some nice feathered light down ups as if I'm just waving a feather. Why am I doing that? If I'm not going to do a fast little melodic thing going all over the place with some sort of pentatonic scale, I better do something else fast. And what's easier than just strumming down and up an chord? That means the right hand can cut loose without the left hand having to do all this stuff everywhere, In our hypothetical song, it went from A to D. For the D chord, I chose to do D this way. 5 on the first string with my index, 7 on the second with my pinky, 7 on the third with my ring. 5, 7, 7. Okay, so A was up here. Now I'll leave it at that. We could talk about more embellishments and more things you can do with those like those grips at as your foundation. But the long-term homework, not just for Dusty Dave, but for anybody who is a little bit new to this, to take a D chord and move it up the neck, but name it as you move it. A D chord up 2 frets, that's an E chord. E is in echo. An E chord up 1 fret is F, because E and F have that tight a relationship, everlasting friends. E, F. I'm at 5, 6, 5. F up 2 frets gets you G, 7, 8, 7. G up 2 frets gets you A, 9, 10, 9. If you want a B, up 2 more, 11, 12, 11. There's a B. B and C have a relationship that's just as tight as E and F, best chums. Get it? B, C, best chums. B was 11, 12, 11, and C is 12, 13, 12. So that humble D formation just got you through a lot of major chords up and down the neck. But you want to memorize them so that when it's time to do something with a G chord, and instead of just grabbing an old-fashioned G chord, you zip up the neck to 7, 8, 7, and there's your G. And then that other grip that I like so much, I did it 5, 7, 7. That's a D chord, but backwards 2 frets, 3, 5, 5. That's a C. C is in Charlie. Way up to 7, 9, 9. That's E. E is in Echo. Remember, E and F are neighbors. So E was 7, 9, 9. F is 8, 10, 10. F up 2 frets, 10, 12, 12. That's G. So you want to memorize those. The fun way of memorizing them is to either find a song you already know that has major chords, or write your own song, man. Either way, that's the fun way to memorize them, as opposed to a more academic. Hey, Tasha is in the chat. Hey, Tasha. Dusty Dave says, thank you so much. That really helps. You are very, very welcome. Hey, I see some good suggestions. Barry is suggesting Can't Help Falling in Love. It has a nice finger picking 6/8. Yeah. Yep. I can imagine that. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Barry, that sounds great. Barry, I'm curious if you learned Can't Help Falling in Love using a finger picking pattern from a book, someone's YouTube video. I'm curious, because however you learned it, that would be a good thing to share with the rest of us. Hey, this one dude has a cool video on how to play, you know, or this one woman has a PDF that really works. I would be honored to be a conduit, so you guys could say, hey, I found this one thing, you guys should check it out. So Barry, if you have the means to figure out how you learn, it might be a cool finger picking book, let us know. Tasha, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. Oh, Chaz, thank you. You guys are so generous. Thank you, guys. Okay, now before I forget, a couple of housekeeping things. The bar we played at last Saturday wants us back on Saturday, August 30th. That's 2 weeks from today. So for sure, we won't do the live stream on Saturday, but again, we'll stream the concert so you can watch us play. The Saturday, August 30th gig that Clay and I are doing is the same time as this live stream, 5 p.m. Eastern, same time as this live stream. So you can watch it right here on YouTube. And I'm going to do my darndest to make the picture and the audio better than ever. So bottom line is no live stream on Saturday, August 30th, but you'll be able to, enjoy the dulcet tones of myself and my friend. Could we do a live stream Friday night, the night before? Maybe. Stay tuned. Maybe. I'm not opposed. I would love that. Barry says that you learned it from good old Justin Guitar. Barry says, I learned Can't Help Falling in Love from an old Justin guitar lesson. I think he has since posted a more complex, newer version, so look for the really old one. Excellent. See, that's why we're here. Excellent. That's a great choice, which is, it's not a sad song, right? Wise men say only fools rush in. I can't help falling in love with you. It's not a sad song. I hope. Jamie says, I saw you doing those lead riffs. Yeah, did you check out our last live stream? So close. We are playing this is last Saturday's gig. They want us to set up facing a certain direction, which happened to be direct sunlight. So even though it was 5 p.m. in the evening, plenty of bright Connecticut sunshine. I could feel the sweat dripping into my eyes. It felt very rock and roll to be playing with sweat dripping down my face. But because I really couldn't see anything when I set up my phone to stream the gig, I had no idea what the angle of the phone was, and it was not ideal. Not the worst I've ever done, but not ideal. But I'm going to get it right. Somehow I'll get it right, because it's worth it. So don't rule out the possibility that maybe Friday the 29th of August we'll do this. Next week is okay. I'm not talking about next week. Next week is good. Knock on wood. Okay, so I want to check that out. Check that off my list. Anybody want to take credit for the name Blues Hammer for that riff? I just can't remember who named it. That exercise. You know what I'm talking about, right? From maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Hey, let's do a couple of newsworthy things, and then I can't wait to get to our play along song of the week. Okay, Paul and Ringo reuniting and doing a concert tour in 2026. We're talking about the two remaining Beatles joining together and touring together. Now, I just heard about this the other day, and in Googling it and making sure I knew what I was talking about, I see posts going back to June. Do you guys know about this? Am I the last person on the planet to hear about Paul and Ringo reuniting and doing a concert tour in 2026? I saw such a huge variety of posts about it. I didn't find one that I was comfortable sharing with you guys because they weren't from sources that I am familiar with. But anyways, for the moment, I want to believe it. Paul and Ringo are calling the tour One Last Ride, and they're going to be playing a lot of Beatles tunes in 2026 in a bunch of different cities around the world, I guess. And And if I knew a lot more, I'd be happy to share it with you. But I want to take it at face value, and it makes me feel so good. Paul and Ringo on tour. So if any of you know anything concrete about it, I don't mean just, you pull up any old thing on Google and just, repeat what you hear. But if anyone knows more concrete information than I do, please put it in the chat. How fun, man. How fun. Check. In the description of this live stream, when it's all done, I'm going to put a link to a very interesting news piece that I heard about on public radio, making a connection between a love of bluegrass music and people on the autism spectrum who play bluegrass music. Very interesting, and researchers, I guess, are doing what they do. And there is a group that has been formed to bring people on the autism spectrum together to play bluegrass music. And super, super interesting. I think the group is called Spectrum Bluegrass. And like I said, I'll put a link in the description to this live stream that you can check out for yourself regarding this news and the science that is being researched. Very interesting stuff. Had a birthday a couple of days ago, and got a lot of nice presents, man. My wife set me up with 1 million gift cards and for yummy treats around where I work, a lot of my regular haunts, so I can zip out on a lunch break and get all sorts of yummy stuff. So thanks to her and my son for all that yummy stuff. My son got me a very cool CD. He found a CD in an antique store. What does that tell you? But it's a very cool CD, previously unreleased interviews with the Beatles from 1964, 1965. I do have a CD player. I might be the last person around. Anybody out there have a CD player? So I had a very nice birthday. My mother-in-law gave me a gift certificate to Sweetwater, which I can't wait to use. And my mom got me, remember I mentioned the little Tom Petty show and tell? My mom got me the new autobiography, Mike Campbell from Tom Petty's band. He is one of the Heartbreakers. And I've just read one of the, I'm weird, I'll flip to the middle of a book and just read a chapter just to read something from the middle. And it's already an awesome book. Talking about when Tom Petty and the guys were much younger and they opened for Kiss in Columbus, Georgia. Just a great story. Anyways, I'll keep you posted, but very fun book. And the book is called Heartbreaker, a memoir. Mike Campbell, and he's got a co-writer on here. So any of you Tom Petty fans, I bet you will get a kick out of this book. And that was another part of my birthday. So thanks to my mom for that very fun book. I can't wait to read the whole thing. Okay. Barry, thank you for your super chat. Barry says, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Thank you. August 13 is my birthday. In 2 years, it'll be on a Friday the 13th. And I say, bring it on. Bring on Friday the 13th. I've had birthdays on Friday the 13th before. I'm not afraid of that. Are you ready to do our play along song of the week? I sure am. Okay, our play along song of the week. Don't go anywhere. You're going to need a B minor chord, a lot, or a capo. If you are not comfortable with the B minor chord, then grab a capo. Otherwise, where are we here? Otherwise, you're going to be surprised at how fun and easy this song is. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Are you sitting down? Here comes this week's play along song of the week. If your screen goes black, don't worry about a thing. Not even a thing. Hold on. There we go. There we go. My screen blinked for a second. Who knows this song? Of course, you know this song. You know what? I can't believe I haven't done this song with you guys before. I didn't know that this song was as easy as it is. Okay, if I say the name of the song and the performer, I'll get demonetized. You ready? And here it comes. Wicked Game from Chris Isaac is our play-along song of the week. As you guys know, at this moment, the video is not monetized because you guys are worth it, man. You guys shouldn't have to sit through ads. As soon as I monetize it, I get an email that says, you're going to be sharing revenue. I think that's what they call it. You'll be sharing revenue with, it doesn't say Chris Isaak. It says a whole lot of corporation. I don't know. It says everything but Chris Isaak. Who knows? Anyways, moving on. Why is this song absolutely perfect for this live stream? The entire song without a capo. Don't worry, we'll get to the capo part in a second. Without a capo, the entire song, B minor, A, and E. That E, oh shoot. That E is for 8 counts. Where you see in front of you there, I know it only shows the E for 4 counts. I'll fix that. The E is for 8 counts. B minor for 4, A for 4, to E for 4, and then E for 4 more. Now, because it doesn't say that on the screen yet, I need you guys to just remember 8 counts on E. You got it? B minor, A, E, E again. That's one way to remember it, okay? B minor. We're talking about your fretting hand. We'll talk about the strumming in a minute. For those of you who are not comfortable with B minor, and by the way, you can play B minor however you want. This song, by the way, is not driven by the guitar. Okay. Here is, you see it okay? Give it a second. If the screen goes black, give it a second, don't worry. If you use a capo, essentially the song goes back a whole step. It goes back an alphabet letter. If you put the capo on the 2nd fret, which I recommend, you got A minor for 4, G for 4, and D for 8, despite what it says on the page. A minor for 4, G for 4, and D for 8. Don't worry, I'll fix the PDF. Now, I was just doing without a capo. You got to use a capo if you're going to do that way. Now, in a minute, I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page. Those of you who are going to do it with a capo at the 2nd fret, I need you to write that down right now or just commit it to memory. A minor 4 counts, G 4 counts, D like Delta for 8 counts. Okay? Now's the time. Write it down, do whatever it takes, because I can't show both on the page on the screen at the same time. All right? So you ready? It's going away now. A minor 4 counts, G 4 counts, D 8 counts. Okay, now the intro riff, we'll get to that in a second. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We'll get to that in a second, although don't let me stop you. If you want to play the intro riff right now, go for it. In terms of the strumming, like I said, the song is not guitar driven in the sense of like this steady pounding chord pattern. In fact, it's really a So I was just saying the song is really driven by Chris Isaak's vocal and the bass and the drums. The good news is, don't worry, I'm going to put this back up on the screen in a second. The good news is we get to strum it however we want. And I don't mean to sound so cavalier. I'll tell you how I'm going to strum it. But my point is, you're not burdened with having to replicate this exact strum pattern. Hey, 6-string Greg is in the chat. Hey, 6-string Greg. Okay, so here's essentially what I'm going to do. I'll show you how I'm going to start the song, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do as the song progresses. I got my B minor focusing on the 4 treble strings. Let me pull up my lyrics just so I can illustrate this better. World was on fire. So it's going to be like this. When I start, world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Nice boring down strums. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. And if that's your speed, that's awesome. Give all your attention to your chord changes and the sound of your chords, whether you're doing the chords you see on the screen or if you're doing the capoed up A minor, G, D. Either way, give all your attention to your chord changes. Keep the strumming simple. That's a smart way to go. As the song progresses, my intention, world was on fire, no one could save me from you. I'm going to be a little more articulate. Instead of the B minor where my index is on the first skinny string, I'm going to take that index on the first skinny string. I'm going to hop it over to the low B, 5th string, 2nd fret. And I'm going to let the flesh of my index finger lightly mute out the skinny string so I can go. And I don't have to worry about whether my pick hits the skinny E string or not because it's muted. It looks like I'm doing a bar. Nothing could be further from the truth. I don't like bar chords, but I know it looks that way. I'm sort of loosely arching my index finger over. I'm putting all my pressure on the 5th string, 2nd fret, the note B. And like I said, I'm relaxing the rest of my index finger so the flesh, yeah. So as the tune progresses, I'm going to change to this type of strumming. Okay, root note with a downstroke, and then a light up, down, up on the treble strings. And when I say the treble strings, I'm talking about any strings that aren't the root note, you know. Could be any of the first 4 treble strings. A, I'm also going to hit the 5th string, the open A string. E major, I'm going to hit the 6th string. No matter what, though, if my strumming seems kind of loose and casual and natural looking, yeah, because in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's just that the first downstroke happens to be on one isolated string. I'm doing 2 of those on the B minor, 2 on the A, and 4 on the E. Lastly, for those of you who are capoed up, I'm going to grab my capo, 2nd fret, 2 on the A minor, 2 on the G, and 4 on the D. Okay, a little fancier than how we first talked about this. The road was on fire, no one could save me but you. That's okay. Again, if that's your speed, that's great. Give all your attention to your chord changes and you won't regret it. That's the chord changes are most of the time, that's what holds us back from getting to where we want to go in this context, right? A play along context. It's the chord changes that mess us up, if not the chords themselves. Typically, 90-something% of you are strumming with your dominant hand. Your dominant hand picks things up quickly. Don't worry about that. If your dominant hand is doing something rudimentary and you know it's not where you want to be, don't worry about it. It'll catch up quickly as your left hand gets more confident with the chord changes. Okay, so let's do this. What do I need? I'm going to wet my whistle in a second. Any last minute questions, comments? Now's the time. Don't be shy. Oh my gosh, how could I forget the intro riff? This song, it's all about the vibe of this song, right? That California highway at night with the beach, you know, off in the distance. It's that vibe, right? At least those of us from Connecticut. It sure doesn't sound like a Connecticut vibe. It sounds like a California vibe, you know? So this riff is played on electric guitar. It's got some tremolo arms, some whammy bar going on. What I wrote here is the bare bones, the bare bones minimum you need to do to recreate the intro riff. I'm sure somewhere out there, there's going to be, hopefully, there's someone going into a little more detail. If you play what's on the page in front of you, that will suffice. The song kicks off with this riff. Static Zigzag asks, if we're using a capo, it's A minor to G. A minor to G major to D major for 8 counts. That's what you got going on. A minor for 4, G like golf for 4, D like delta for 8. That's if you're doing the capo. Okay. So just so you know, that intro riff, we are not going to do it. I mean, you guys are welcome to play it, but I'm not going to play it. But just so you know, the sound of it, the song kicks off with, like, imagine the drummer, you know, before they edited it out in the recording studio, the drummer went like 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. See that 7 in the middle of the page, that zigzag, that diagonal line going away from it? I call that throwing away a note. You play the 7, but you kind of steadily throw it away down the neck. In this case, the next note is just the open second string. And then it begins again. And here's a nice little melodic line. That's the 5, 3, 2, 0. And it finally concludes on the 3rd string. 2, 1. By the way, the B Dorian mode is what's going on in this song. An A major scale is the same as a B Dorian mode. Anybody who knows the A major scale, you could solo throughout this tune using the A major scale real quick, and then we'll get into the play along. The A major scale, 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's the note A. 3rd string, 4th fret, that's note B. That's significant because the song is in the key of B minor. It's just that the A major scale contains notes that are really great for soloing along with this song. Okay, so far we have 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 4th fret, 2nd string, 2, 3, 5, 1st string, 2, 4, 5. It should sound at the moment like a typical do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in A major scale, because it is 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5. Now, please, somebody solo along with this song using that scale with one important thing to keep in mind. That 2nd note, 3rd string, 4th fret, the note B is in Bravo. That's your home base. So no matter what you play, keep coming back to that B. That's how you create what is called the B Dorian mode. It's an A major scale with almost like a magnetic pull, a musically magnetic pull to the note B, the 2nd note of the major scale. If you do that, you'll be playing notes from the A major scale, obviously, but by returning to that note B on a regular basis, you are brainwashing, for lack of a better term, you're brainwashing the listener to hear the major scale in a different way, because you're telling them this is that's our home right there. I'm doing it to you right now. I keep coming back to that beat. Okay, let's do it. Enough chit chat. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was on fire, no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed I'd meet somebody like you. I never dreamed I'd lose somebody like you. No, wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. With you. What a wicked game we play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed I'd love somebody like you. And I never dreamed I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. With you. All right, how'd you do? Questions, comments? I left a little room in there for a little soloing. What else can I tell you? This song has a nice arpeggiated little solo thing that happens right after the intro, and it returns at different parts in the tune. And it's just beyond the scope of this live stream, but essentially it's arpeggiating the B minor, A, and E chords, you know. I'm kind of faking it right there, but in the big picture, that's basically what the guitar player is doing. But it's just more, I'm kind of faking it right now, but it's that kind of approach, I believe, where they're grabbing the chord and they're arpeggiating it. So Scott says, I made it harder than I needed to by picking instead of strumming. You know what, though? As I always say, you guys, I want to get you guys started. Don't use me as a reference point. Now crank up the song, after the live stream, crank it up on YouTube, Spotify, however you do it in your house, and play along with it. Play it with the capo, play it without the capo. Do that intro riff. Find some joker on YouTube who teaches that arpeggio riff, solo with the A major scale, which contains the B Dorian mode. Any Dorian mode is just named after the second note of any major scale. Why do we want the Dorian mode? The Dorian mode is a great choice for soloing when the song is in a minor key. Now, how do you know the song is in a minor key? Well, the fact that B minor is the first chord, that's a heads up. You can always trust the first chord, but it's a heads up that it might be in a minor key. It might be. and then you just have to take my word for it. We're in the key of B minor for this song. And a Dorian mode, which is really just a scale, it's the A major scale. That's a great choice for soloing. In fact, when you hear at the end of the intro, when you hear that 5, 3, 2, 0, you know, that distinctiveness, whatever you want to call that pretty melodic sound, that's the Dorian mode. That's what you get when you solo or compose with a Dorian mode. Ooh, I'm gonna do that brainwashing thing in a second. If I start on the note A and I went, it sounds very major. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, do, 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 do. There's the note A, right? I'm getting that in your brain as your home base. Now, if I go and I don't resolve for that last A, I'm holding off. I'm not playing that note A. I'm not letting it get there. I'm just stopping on the note B. I'm literally playing that 5, 3, 2, 0. Now I'm brainwashing you into thinking that A is not important. I'm not even playing the A. And if I continue the experiment here by doing that, and then throwing in a B minor chord, then my experiment is complete. You are hearing notes from an A major scale, but B has now become what your ear is tuning into. Oh, check this out. Winston says, my son plays bass in a band. They play Wicked Game, but they morph into Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve, yep, and back. They call it Wicked Symphony. Very cool. I love that. I love that. Very fun. Now, I would venture a guess to say a popular tune that is just the same 3 chords over and over again for the entire tune is going to get covered by more bands, right? You don't have to sit here and rehearse it. Clay and I might play the song on August 30th, and he likes it, I like it. Like, oh, well, let's just do it. That isn't to say you don't take it seriously or you don't make an effort to play it with dynamics and thought and care. But the chord progression is certainly not going to be a big topic of conversation, right? You guys know it as well as anyone right now. B minor, A, E. Somehow I still managed to not get it exactly right. Remember, B minor, A, E 2 times. B minor 4 beats, A 4 beats, E 8 beats, despite what it says on the screen. I'll fix it. So yeah, so you get my point. I think a tune that is on paper really simple, like this one, I think more bands are going to cover it, right? You always need that extra, handful of songs just in case you're getting paid to play until midnight and it's 11:15. I don't mean to sound cynical about it, but that can happen. It can happen, And what are you going to do? You're going to go back and play some of the songs you played at the beginning of the night? I mean, you could. It's not the craziest idea. I've been there. I was playing at a bar back a few years ago. I was playing drums in a band, and the bar was emptying out, and I was looking down at something. I wasn't looking at the dance floor because it was empty. And I looked up, and somehow they're like what seemed to be 50 or 60 youngish people just crowding around. Like, where'd they come from? I realized, someone told me, a different bar down the block closed every night at whatever, 11:30. And so at 11:45, all the kids would go someplace else to keep the party going. And they happened to chose the bar I was playing at. And it was just surreal. I mean, I couldn't have looked away for that long. So, it's a great moment for the band. Like, whoa, we have an audience all of a sudden. And then you realize that you've played all your songs. You're down to the last 1 or 2 tunes on your set list. Go back to the beginning. Play the songs that you played at 8 o'clock. Good times. Good times. Okay. My word. Hey, let's check a few things off our box, off of my list, I should say. Quietest place in the world? Oh man, I thought you'd never ask. I'm going to stop sharing here. Okay, quietest place in the world. Coming your way. Anybody been to Orfield Laboratories in Minneapolis? I'm curious if you have, because if you have found the sounds of silence. Okay, anyone know what I'm talking about? I bet a few of you do. Room that has been designed to be as quiet as possible. And I'm going to share this website with you guys. As I always say, if your screen goes dark, don't fear. Orfield Laboratories, otherwise known as the quietest place on earth, the world's only independent multi-sensory design, research, and consulting laboratory, serving North American and international clients, specializing in human perceptual comfort. Holy cow. Now, I'm going to keep this short because this is way above my pay grade, but I'll tell you why this is so interesting to me. I'm going to scroll a little bit here. Labs, testing, architecture, products. Let's see, is this what I want? Testing. When you are in an environment where the sound has, okay, there we go, where the sound essentially has been removed. Your body doesn't like that. Your brain doesn't like that. When your senses have nothing to do, guess what you do? You begin to hallucinate. Holy cow. They say that if you go into their special room, and I don't know if that's it on the upper left. I think that's it. When you go into this special room, presumably it's dark, and boy, is it quiet from what I've heard. You can hear your heartbeat. You can hear they say you can hear your organs function. Holy moly. No one, you're going to think I'm crazy, no one has lasted longer than 45 minutes in this room. It's too much. It's too much. Man, I don't know. Charlie Beagle says, in space, no one can hear you scream. Wow. So if you're looking for something to do in Minneapolis, maybe wander over there and take the test and see if you can last longer than 45 minutes. Don't blame me if you lose your mind. Of course, I want to do it. I can't wait to do it. I have no idea what it would take to get access to something like that. Something tells me that it's not for random people to stick their heads in there. Anyways, now you know what I know about Orfield Laboratories. How is it relevant to our program? I'll remain silent on that topic. I just thought it was so interesting. Orfield Laboratories. There you go. A little something to think about. Wow. You can hear your organs working. Here's another one. This is more directly tied to our musical theme here. I just heard a radio program honoring the life of Gene Horner. Who is Gene Horner? Well, you've heard of Stradivarius violins. Well, he's America's own Stradivarius, so to speak. I'm going to scroll up a little bit here. The link here we go. The link I'm putting on the screen here, what I'm showing on the screen here, I will have this link in the description of this live stream. Violin maker extraordinaire. This is a piece, as you can see, from my local national public radio station. Taught himself how to make violins, spent a lifetime making them from wood, in his neck of the woods, I was going to say. Got a book on violin making, and the rest is history, and made, I don't know how many, dozens and dozens of instruments that are considered, world-class instruments. Gene Horner passed away just recently at, I believe, 91 years old, from Westel, Tennessee, in East Tennessee, Westel, Tennessee. And the program that I'm going to share with you, this link, all the music you hear when you listen to this radio program, all the music is played on his instruments. Very, very cool and inspiring. Gene Horner from Westel, Tennessee. How cool is that? So I hope you guys check that out. Oop. Okay. Excellent. Now, Caddis, it's after midnight. Caddis says, good night. Caddis, I understand. When the sun comes back up, come on back and check out the rest of the show, because we're going to talk about bar chords, scales. I'm going to show you a cool letter I got. Lots of good stuff. So Caddis, sleep tight. Don't let the bugs bite. And we'll check in with you next time. Okay, for the rest of us sleepy people, here's what I want to throw up on the screen. And it's going to be this. Sometimes things just go your way. Okay, the real value of bar chords. It's not musical. Ooh, what an outrageous statement. Nah, the real value of bar chords is visual. Yes, you heard right. You want to know about bar chords, you do. You should know everything about bar chords. But what you want to know about is visually what they look like. If you're not great at bar chords, don't let that worry you too much at the moment. On the screen there, I put a PDF that you may remember from a while back, bar chord fragments. What I did is I introduced probably the most common bar chord, happens to be a major bar chord formation right there. And then I broke off fragments of that. All those fragments, whether it's 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, those fragments are so important. You want to be able to play all those fragments, and you want to be able to mentally, intellectually connect those fragments with the big 6-string bar chord. Doesn't matter how great you are at the bar chord at the moment, but all those little fragments you see, you'll be using all of those. I use the fragments way more than I use the actual 6-string bar chord. It's funny, the gig last Saturday at the bar, I knew I was streaming it. I hope that some of you guys might be watching. And every once in a while, I played a bar chord, and I thought, oh boy, here I tell everybody, bar chords are a pain in the butt. You don't have to play bar chords as alternatives, but yeah, once in a while, I can make you cry. Anytime. The song "Dream." All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine. Where the lyrics are, I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine. Okay, there's Mr. YouTuber playing a big old F sharp minor bar chord. No way around it. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, dreaming my life away. Okay, so I was a little self-conscious playing those bar chords. Sometimes it is the right thing to do. Okay, so getting back to my provocative point. The real value of bar chords is in those fragments, which you should work on playing those fragments. As you simultaneously work on playing bar chords, sure, knock yourself out. So take a look. Does everybody see how each of those 6 fragments at the bottom, those 6 diagrams at the bottom half, how all of those are simply pieces, so to speak, that I broke off from the bigger bar chord at the top of the page? Because that's what's going on right there. I'm going to do a quick check. I'm pretty sure the PDF that you're looking at is available on my website. I sure can make it available, but I want to bear with me. Bar chord fragments, come on. I don't see it at the moment, which is fine. It's going to be easy for me to share that. I thought it was. No worries, easy peasy. Okay. All right, so let's zip through these 6 fragments real quick. The premise here, let's have the premise of an F major bar chord. Okay, so my index is barring at the 1st fret. My middle ring and pinky are doing their respective jobs at the 2nd and 3rd frets. Okay. Now I'm not gonna rely on that big shape anymore. I'm gonna only do what that first diagram needs me to do. The first diagram on the second half of the page, it just needs me to do 2 notes. You know, what was an F major bar chord is now what's known as an F power chord. Is that better than a bar chord? Nope. It's can be a substitute for bar chord, but it's also its own thing. Sometimes you need a power chord. Sometimes you need that thing, and you don't need a bar chord. You need that sound. The second one, it simply adds the pinky. Talking about the second chord diagram on the bottom half of the page. Okay, the third diagram, this is a personal favorite of mine. And when I say the third diagram, I'm talking about not the bottom row, but the top row of the bottom half of the page. Barre is pointing out that you could play Wicked Game with finger picking. Bass note, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can figure out what you're saying. We'll come back to this. Yeah, Barre sounds nice. Yeah. Now, Barre, is that your version? Because if it is, that's awesome. Or did you happen to learn that from did someone else suggest that? I'm just curious, but that sounds great. Yeah, imagine a nice finger-picked version of Wicked Game. Love it. I can totally see that being like a solid musical presentation. Acoustic guitar, finger-picking, and then singing along with it. Sounds great. Okay. Those of you who struggle with any kind of F chord, any kind, that diagram, I'm talking about the third one to the right underneath the dotted line. Index finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. Middle finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. Pinky, 4th string, 3rd fret. Ring, 5th string, 3rd fret. Notice there's an X over the fat E and X over the skinny E. What you have is a perfectly acceptable F chord. Just make sure you don't strum the skinny 1st string and don't strum the fat 6th string. It's not too difficult to avoid those strings if you keep your pick close. Every once in a while, I realize that I haven't made enough of an issue with a student regarding how important it is to keep your picking hand close to the strings. In general, you don't want your picking hand to go really down below the skinny string or much above the fat string. Not unless you're doing a big, hootenanny sing-along up and down kind of thing. In general, your picking hand really should be right, say, within the sound hole if you have an acoustic guitar. You really shouldn't go down below the sound hole or up above the sound hole unless there's some big pressing reason. If you have an electric guitar, then you can just think about the image of where the sound hole would be. But in general, you really don't want your picking hand to go down, into the void, and you really don't want it up towards your chin very much. Not if you're going for a lot of precise picking. Keep it really, really close. Barre says that is his version of the song. Very, very cool. It's a great idea. I might steal that from you someday. Beginner Guitar Lesson says bar chords contain all the chords of that scale. Sort of. They not exactly, but with you could play, like say in the case of F, or say in the key of F, all the chords you would need, all the diatonic chords, the typical chords you need in the key of F, you could find a way to play them in that vicinity, but they're not. Many of those chords would have notes that are not in the F bar chord, but you're onto something that you don't have to move up and down the neck. Once you say, if you're in the key of F, you can stay right in that position. Everything you need is right there. And I would say the same thing if you had a bar chord up the neck. If you're in the key of A, you have a bar at the 5th fret, all the diatonic chords in the key of A, you could find a way to play those chords. I mean, could there be any exceptions? You certainly could play the 1, 4, and the 5. You could play the you find a way to do the 2 chord. You should get a lot of mileage once you park your bar, where into the key that you're in, bar at 5 if you're in the key of A, bar at 3 if you're in the key of G. Then yeah, you can find a lot of good chords right in there. The arpeggios, beginning guitar lessons. You're talking about the arpeggios. Well, you could. You could certainly find stuff you're looking for. I hesitate to say like everything you need is right there, but a lot of what you need is right there for sure. Okay, so let's do the bottom 3 chords on the page. And again, the whole point of this is that this very visual representation on the page, right? That's the real value of bar chords, knowing that this big major bar chord formation can be broken into smaller pieces. And not only can it be broken into smaller pieces, but sometimes you're supposed to only play a fragment of the bar chord. That gets you the sound you want. And even if you're good enough, quote, quote, to play the bar, that doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to do. Sometimes committing to a whole bar chord can slow you down and keep you from getting on with whatever comes next. So this goes beyond just whether or not someone's physically capable of doing the bar chord, Okay, so there you go. That last one, that last little, the bottom right, that last little cute, it's a little double stop. It's only 2 notes, but it's 2 of the 3 notes of an F major chord. And sometimes that's what you need, right? Chuck Berry. You want that little sound. Okay, so there you go. That's my provocative statement of the night, I guess. The value of bar chords is mainly a visual value, not, the beautiful, amazing sound of a typical bar chord. Something to think about. But I'll stand behind it. That's the real value of bar chords. Hey, have you voted? I need you to vote. What's our poll question of the night? Well, we got a lot of votes. If you've never voted in one of our polls, please vote tonight. It's a very important question. The most important poll question I've ever asked in 108 live streams. Should I do more play-along songs with you or more lesson material like what we just did? I can go either way. And so, you're kidding me. We're tied. Come on, you guys. You're killing me. That makes my day. That's awesome. Of course, we're tied. Technically, it's 51% more are voting for more lesson material and 40. Oh, now we're at 53 for more lesson material and 47 for more play-along songs. That's hilarious. But margin of error, right? Basically, we're tied. That's hilarious. No, but that is, hey, you know what? That helps me as well. That helps me as well. So I appreciate it. Let me know. We got a few more minutes ahead of us. So if you haven't voted, please do vote. If you're watching this after the live stream and the world is still standing, first of all, awesome. And send me an email. Why not? Send me an email. info@song-bike.com. info@song-bike.com. And feel free to write a couple of sentences about how you feel and why. And again, the question is, in our live stream, should we do more play-along songs? Typically, we only do 1 a week. Or should we do more lesson material? And I made it a very cut and dry question because, that I wanted that kind of answer, So yeah, so let me know. I'm super curious. All right. I got a nice letter this week. And I thought I'd share it with you. James from Illinois sent a very nice letter. And this, I don't get too many letters, but this letter is indicative of a lot of phone calls that I get. Some of you might know that in my original 12 or 13 videos from way back when, my music shop's phone number is at the bottom of the screen. Now you know if you didn't know before. And not so much anymore, but every once in a while I still get a phone call from someone who watched the video and they have a question about the video. Why would I put any phone number of mine on a YouTube video? The videos were not created for YouTube. They were created for local public access TV. At that time, it seemed like a great idea to put the phone number at the bottom of the screen. When I uploaded it to YouTube, I didn't think anyone was going to watch these videos. I don't know, so I get a lot of phone calls in general. And this letter is similar to a lot of the phone calls I get. So without going into too much detail, James wrote me a very nice letter. It says, "Hi, Jonathan. I'm James. I'm 82 years old. I lost my hearing in my left ear and 50% in my right ear. I'm working with the VA, the Veterans Administration, on hearing aids. Enough about me. Can you please give me the chord changes for," and he names a couple of songs, a song by Tom Rush and a song by Murray McLaughlin. "I've enclosed a self-addressed stamped envelope for your convenience. Thank you, and God bless all, James." And then there's the self-addressed stamped envelope. Oh, and he included a card. So I write the chord changes on one side for one song and on the other side for the other song. And that just makes my day. So James, I don't have any reason to think that you're necessarily watching right now, James, but if you are, that letter made my day, and I'm happy to help. I don't have a lot of time to do stuff like this. So, but once in a while, I find a letter very, very moving and touching, and I'll do what I can. I'd be happy to help. So anyways, mailbag. So I'd open the mailbag and share it with you. And like I said, it's more common for me to get phone calls, but the phone calls in general are extremely similar to the sentiments and the heartfeltness and the graciousness of that letter. It's a keeper. That letter's a keeper. Check. Who's in town? Joe Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult, coming through town. If he's playing in my town, he might be playing in your town soon, and that's why I share these with you. Who else is coming through town? Blues guitar player Tinsley Ellis is coming through town. I think he's tomorrow night. Jumpin' Jim Beloff. He's actually just lives in a town or two over. Jumpin' Jim Beloff, ukulele master. Some of you might even own a Jumpin' Jim ukulele book. Jim Beloff is doing 2 ukulele workshops, one for beginners, one for more advanced players, at the same venue where very soon after, Jake Shimabukuro is playing ukulele. His show might be sold out, but how cool is that? A couple of workshops, getting people more into the ukulele, and then the next night, one of the leading names in the ukulele world, along with Jim Beloff, is coming through town. Jake Shimabukuro. And many of you are familiar with him because it seems like that at the same time the internet was becoming a thing, Jake was doing awesome things on the ukulele years and years and years ago. One of my favorites is coming through, Ruthie Foster, Grammy winner, Ruthie Foster. Remember that great song, Mileage? That's a name of her Grammy-winning album. And Ruthie Foster is coming through my town. And also Stephen Kellogg with his friend Javier Colon are coming through as well. And Stephen Kellogg, I remember a buddy of mine was so into Stephen Kellogg and loved him so much. So someone who might be of interest to you. All these people are on tour, and I'm sure they would love your support. If they're coming through my town, they're almost certainly coming through your town. Should I sell out? Now, usually I have a cute, like a nice, funny way of presenting this information. And, like it leads up to something. I put some thought into how I present, should I sell out? This is the segment of the show where I list a number of products that were offered to me to sell to you. And if I only, were the type of person to do this, I don't know, the show would be very different. So what has been offered to me? Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to scroll through some emails. I'm going to make this fast. Wiper blades. Would you buy wiper blades from me? Okay, that was one. Second thing that was offered to me. We haven't done the show for 2 weeks, so these are they've been building up. barbecue. I'm seeing this for the first time. A wireless digital meat thermometer. There's a joke in there somewhere. A wireless digital meat thermometer. It offers an 800-foot long range Bluetooth connectivity. That was offered to me to sell to you. Joke as you will. What else was offered to me to sell to you? Soccer goals, goal posts. Yeah, it's like a goal with a net. Okay. What else? What else? Okay. The next one was a smart ring. A smart ring. Oh, it's a ring like on your finger, and it keeps track of your heart rate and your sleep and additional health insights. Okay. And just so you know, what they ask, they say, we are currently looking for talented creators to help us showcase our product through a short video or a post, your honest thoughts and experience. They offer free product sample, video promotion, exclusive. No money. I don't see any money. I'm going to pass on that one. I'm going to pass on the smart ring. How about one more? What else was offered to me to sell to you? Nope. No, that's just ads in general anymore. Oh, here comes one. I don't know if we can top meat thermometer. No, some people are just a generic thing. It just say we want to work with you with ads and stuff. Okay, last one, fast one. This might be the one. Oh yeah, this is for sure. Last one. Lewis from a makeup company wants me to sell to you lash clusters and a lash clusters kit. I assume they're talking about eyelashes. They're easy. They're reusable with easy removal. I look for that. It's a certain material that is going to retain its shape after even more than 15 uses. Boy, it never occurred to me that fake eyelashes would wear out, but of course they wear out, Jonathan. Okay, I'll end it there. Those are several of the items I was offered to sell to you. Should I sell out? Not this week. Not this time. Any takers? Who amongst you named this the blues hammer exercise? Someone did. Well, if it's none of you guys, then it's someone who's not watching right now. That's okay. I think I can look back in the chat and scroll and see. Hey, Barry has a question, which is why I'm actually here. Barry says, if there's one thing that makes country music on the guitar different, what would it be? Great question. Country music relies on major, minor, and seventh chords. Blues music, for example, by contrast, does not rely anywhere nearly as heavily on major and minor chords. Blues music, as an example of a contrasting style, relies much more heavily on just seventh chords. So the fact that country music inherently has lots of major and minor chords, that's in a big picture. That's one big difference. Country music, if you get down to the nitty gritty of physically playing the guitar in a way that immediately evokes country music, so much country guitar playing, especially on electric guitar, is striving to be imitative of pedal steel or steel guitar music and banjo. Especially the better the hotshot country guitar player is, the more likely they are to be able to play all this fast, bendy, chicken picking kind of stuff, which is extremely similar to pedal steel guitar and banjo. You do not hear that in blues. Now I'm using blues as an example because before there was rock and roll, there was blues and there was country. Before there was jazz, there was blues and country. I mean, I'm generalizing a little bit here, you know. So that's why it's convenient for me to answer your question, to contrast country music and blues. Once rock and roll and pop music kind of explode, the lines get pretty blurry, right? And within the same song, you can have touches of country and blues and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and jazz, you name it, all in the same song, right? Country music is, you know, the whole boom, chick, that railroad train kind of sound. That's something that you can't escape in country music. Whereas it's not, I would say that boom, 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 boom is far harder to find in blues. I'm generalizing. So, you know, you musicology police, you know, just take it easy, take it easy. But rhythmically, see, country music quickly absorbed what it wanted to from blues music. And again, the lines get kind of blurry, right? What else? I love the question, though. Well, storytelling. You're talking about guitar specifically, but bear with me for a second. Country music is far more likely to tell a story, right? Again, not to say every other type of music doesn't tell stories, but it is inherent to country music in a way that it might not be as, you know, well, it's not. I don't want to couch my answer. It's not as inherently part of say blues or rock music, you know. What else? You know, acoustic guitar. I mean, but there's acoustic blues, so I guess that's not. I mean, both country and blues were, you know, well underway before the electric guitar was ever a thing, before it was ever invented. And both styles of music absorbed electric guitar, and you know, I don't know. Those are some of my initial thoughts, Barry. It's a great question. It's fun. It's fun seeing how things begin to blur together, and wondering, you know, you know, to what extent things happen consciously, and to what extent did things happen just because they sounded good. I'm going to take that thing that person is doing, and I'm going to find a way to use it in my music. You know, fun to imagine. It's a great question. Great question. Okay, you guys, check. We're getting towards the end here. You know what we didn't do, and maybe this will be the last thing for those of you who are stuck around this whole time, this little thing with scale games. I'm going to throw that up on the screen in a minute. Check. I told you August 30th, 2 weeks from today. We won't have a live stream that day, but I have another gig that night, the same time as a live stream. So August 30th, tune in, but it won't be for the live stream, it'll be for the gig. You can watch me play for free. It's possible we'll do the live stream just the night before, but I can't commit to that yet. September 6th, also, we won't have a live stream on September 6th. I'm off to see Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, Sheryl Crow, and a couple of other opening acts on Saturday, September 6th. So we won't have a live stream that night, but again, maybe we'll do Friday night instead, possibly, but no live stream for sure on Saturday, September 6th. I want to make sure you guys know that. Okay. So for those of you who have stuck around, I am grateful. And so what we're going to do here, I think you'll get a kick out of this. Some of you may remember this. And this is short and sweet. Come on, there we go. Love it. Okay. And then we'll say good night. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. That one. Okay. Give it a minute. Don't worry if your screen goes black. Calling this lesson scale games, that's my attempt to make this lighthearted and fun. Charlie, your question is a great question. Charlie says, do you play bar chords on a 12-string? You know what? There's no reason not to. A little more work. The neck is wider. It's not just the fact that it's 12 strings. It's just that the neck is a little bit wider to accommodate the 12 strings. So a little more work. But sure, you could play bar chords on a 12-string. I wouldn't. I don't play them on a 6-string if I can avoid it. But yeah, I'm sure people do it. Someday I'll get a 12-string guitar. 12-string electric, a little bit easier. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a G major scale. Why did I choose the G major scale to illustrate this? Because it's kind of easy. 3 skinny strings. So if you and I were doing one-on-one personal lessons, I'd say, hey, let's get warmed up. First, let's play the G major scale, 1 octave, open position, down, up picking. 1 octave meaning 8 notes total. Open position meaning it relies in part on open strings, and your hand stays down here by the nut. You do that for a couple times through, get warmed up. By the way, for every first fret note, I highly recommend use your first finger. Any second fret note, use your second finger. Any third fret note, use your third finger. Stick with that orientation. You will not regret it. Do it. What is the point of this page? It sounds so good. Let's make the scale harder. You didn't think we were done. We're not going to stop just with a do, re, mi major scale. Line 2, still employing down, up picking with no exceptions. Line 2 essentially says do, re, mi, do, mi, do. I can't say. You play 3 notes, you go back 1. You play 3 notes, you go back 1. It's like taking the long way to get to the top of the stairs. You know, you go up 3 stairs, you go back 1. It creates a very pretty, very melodic scale and the melodic sound. And the smoother and faster you play it, the better it sounds. But even at a medium speed, it sounds so pretty. This type of exercise, taking a scale, any scale, and playing a few notes, but then backtracking, and playing a few more notes and backtracking, is extremely common on any instrument. Don't worry. I'm going to share that again. Hold on. YouTube just blinked for a second there. That's all right. All right, there we go. So what you're looking at is, as usual, it's a PDF that I'll double check. I think it's available on my website. If it's not, I'll put it up on my website very soon, like in the next few minutes. What a great exercise. And it sounds like music. You know, I love scales, but let's face it, scales sound like an exercise. You know, that's great. Love scales. What I'm proposing here, this scale game, I could do that all day long. I've had more than one student kind of get addicted to this, and they get to the point where they can't stop doing scales this way. Now you can do this with any scale. Good old a pentatonic. It sounds like you're doing something, right? So what I just did there is I took a pentatonic scale and did the same idea. Up, 3 notes, back to the second note. Second, third, fourth, back to the third. Third, fourth, fifth, back to the fourth. You get the idea, right? Okay. Now I'm not going to scroll down because it's time to wrap up, but you get the idea there, right? The line that you can't see, well, I can show you this easy peasy. There's the bottom. It's just the descending version from the skinny string back to where you started. That's all. But that's the tip of the iceberg. What's this one? Oh, then I do it with the E minor pentatonic. Yeah. Oh, it's such a cool sound. All right. So you guys, we did talk about this a long time ago. And like I said, I was teaching this just as a warm up during my lessons, and then somehow it got crowded out of the rotation by other stuff. And then recently I thought, man, that scale game, that was a cool warm up for your brain, for your eyes, for your fingers, for your picking. There's a lot going on there. So there you go. Very fun. And again, any scale that you have, especially if you have this scale memorized, you should be able to do this trick, quote, quote. You should be able to do it with patience and playing slowly. Randy says, thank you for another fun, informative show. Wishing everyone a great week. Randy, we wish you the same. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I will see you next week. Same. What's that? The 23rd of August. I'll see you same time, same everything. No show on the 30th, but please check in on the 30th. And instead of watching the show at 5 p.m. Eastern, you can see me play with my buddy, 5 p.m. Eastern. And maybe we'll do the live stream Friday instead. It'll be Friday the 29th of August. Same deal with September 6th. No live stream Saturday, September 6th, but maybe we'll do the live stream the night before. I would like to. That would be my goal. So thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you had fun. I had fun. I want to say a few good nights. Good night, Beginner Guitar Lessons. Our moderator, that's why his name is in blue. Good nights to Static Zigzag, Winston. Thank you for watching. Randy, Charlie, Barry, Scott. Who else do I see? Chaz. Who else do I see in here? Scott. Thank you for being here, Scott. Who else? Caddis. Well, Caddis went to bed, which is totally understandable. I get that. Tasha, if you're still here. Six String Greg. Thank you guys for checking in. Rick G. Thanks for being here tonight. Rock Lobster, if you're still here. Matt, Jamie. Thank you guys. Thank you for the super chat donations. Don't forget to use the Sweetwater link. If you're going to shop at Sweetwater anyways, I would appreciate it if you get to Sweetwater by using the affiliate link. It's in the description of this live stream already. It'll send you to Sweetwater. Every time you buy something from Sweetwater using that link, they send a little bit of their profits to support this live stream. Thank you, Sweetwater, for doing that. And thank you for shopping at Sweetwater using that affiliate link. Don't forget to head over to www.song-bike.com. Get yourself an ebook. Get yourself a real book. Get yourself a membership so you can access all the PDFs. I think we got over 70 PDFs, many of which are things that we've talked about on this live stream over the past 108 live streams. That's a lot. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Hope you have a chance to play the guitar a lot. And let's have some fun next time. Take care, everybody. See ya.